a brand new day? Can't you feel a brand new day? Can't you feel a brand new day?
Good morning and welcome. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the slides, but we know they'll be back online soon, and the words are in your bulletin. Amen.
Welcome to those of you in the sanctuary and those of you joining us online. We are an open and inclusive community who practices practical, progressive, metaphysical Christianity. We recognize the divine in all beings, gathering together to be beacons of light, shining in this world. Our purpose is to engage hearts and minds of all who enter here so that our inner Christ consciousness transforms, evolves, and expresses through us. We believe that there is no separation and the infinite abundance of the source of all life. Through the power of our teachings, we believe that human beings manifest the fullness of God throughout the world. Join us now to continue our worship with some song. You can rise if you are in body and spirit, if you feel so inspired.
This is called I Am What I Am.
I am what I am. I am what God is.
Perfect light, love. I am what I am. I am what God is. Perfect, whole, peace. I am what I am. I am what God is. Perfect light, love. I am what I am. I am what God is. Perfect, whole, peace. The love of God enfolds me and wraps me in its arms. I know that I'm connected to the one and never harmed. I am what I am. I am what God is. Perfect light, love. I am what I am. I am what God is. Perfect, whole, peace. I see the God reflected in every face I see. The love. I am what I am. I am what God is. Perfect, whole, peace. I am what I am. I am what God is. I am what I am. I am what God is. I am what I am.
Join me in our blessing of all faiths. Our God is,
Our race is
human, and our religion is oneness. We are having technical difficulties this morning, so a few things are out of balance, and I may have jumped up here a little early. Is that
We have
correct?
one more song.
Okay, all right. We'll have that other song first.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Loving Spirit dwells in us. This is our divinity. As within, so without. All we need is here and now. Where there's air, let us love. May we have no fear. All the power, all the glory, we surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in us, now and evermore.
Let's do this again. Please join me in our blessing of all faiths. Our God is love, our race is human, and our religion is oneness. Thank you, and you may be seated. Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Austin. We are thrilled to be here in community with you today, so thank you for showing up and shining your inner light. Our community and world is definitely a better, brighter place because of you, so thank you. If you happen to be attending Unity of Austin for the first time, we'd like to welcome you by inviting you to receive a welcome gift from the Unity of Austin after service today. Please feel free to visit with one of our ushers after service in the lobby, or stop by the Unity bookstore and someone will present you with a welcome gift today. And we have, well, I was going to say a few announcements, but I think we have quite a few. First and foremost, I'd like to point out that we're having a few technical difficulties today, but it's okay because it's all going to work out. So, and then secondly, Micah. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, and that is Micah LaGrave. By now, many of us know Micah as a ministerial candidate at Unity Urban Ministerial School. He is in his final year of studies and will be ordained this coming June. Micah received a bachelor's degree in sociology from Bates College and a master's degree in divinity from Andover Newton Theological School. Micah's career has been in serving his communities through working with people with developmental disabilities and serving as a chaplain in local hospitals. Micah is now serving Unity of Austin as an intern and is engaging our community through facilitating classes, giving talks, contributing writings to shine the light, and spiritually engaging our community in any way he can. So please join me in welcoming Micah. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And as you've probably noticed, Trevor Zajac is not here this week. And I'm not sure if it is obvious or not, but Trevor Zajac is not only our pianist, he is simultaneously our audiovisual specialist. So today, we are prospered and blessed to have David Patterson return as our audiovisual specialist emeritus and fill in for Trevor today. And
By the way, just so you know, the only thing that's technically not good, we're not able to use a projector. Sorry about the slides. Everything is, you're famous, you're on TV.
Thank you, David. They ask that we both bear with them if there are any hiccups today, and indeed we do have one. And these are their words and not mine. David is an old dog, and Trevor has created many new tricks here. They thank you for your patience and understanding today. So, David, we really do appreciate you being here today, and we appreciate all that you've done historically for our audiovisual needs here at Unity of Austin. So, thank you. And just, I think I'm going to go ahead and defer to Lainey. We also have another guest today, and she'll talk on that.
Yes, we have Rich Siegel. He's here from New Jersey. He came here in August when he was dropping off his daughter to go to UT, and he liked us, and we talked, and I thought, I'm going to have him come be our guest pianist and guest soloist. He said, when I asked him what I should say about him, he said to say he's a really good-looking dude from New Jersey with a very busy freelance music career in New York. And we're just very grateful to have him. And as you've already heard him play the piano, it's quite lovely. And then the next thing I want to talk to you about, you'll get to hear more of him, you'll get to hear him sing in a little bit too, is on Christmas Eve falls on a Sunday, and so we are only going to have one service, and it's in the morning. It might be a little bit longer. The choir is going to sing, and the reason I'm making this announcement is because the choir is going to sing one song, and if any of you who have not talked to me yet would like to join the choir, we are going to start rehearsing the first Sunday in November right here after service. And we have one song picked out. And then the other thing I wanted to let you know is that I am trying to put together an artist trunk show in the gathering room for the first two or the second two Sundays in December. And my vision is that if you are somebody who has things that you sell, artwork, etc., clothing, whatever it is, please come see me. And I would like to set up this artist trunk show so people can get their last minute Christmas gifts and also support the economy for you artists, because we need you. So also, if you're interested in helping me put it together, please come see me. And that's all I got.
Okay, and I believe that Sabrina Harris has an announcement she'd like to make today. Thank you, Sabrina.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And a big howdy to those that are online. Glad you're all here with us today. I'm Sabrina, and I wanted to make a couple quick announcements. One is that we're going to have a sacred service day. That means working in the prayer garden, cleaning that up, and working around the building, and we're going to be pulling weeds and things like that, and need loppers and clippers and stuff like that. And so we did that last year. I think it was October 29th, and it was a really positive day, and we enjoyed being together, and our sister Catherine Samick made brownies. Who can be mad at that? And then a good friend, Ari, who's often our bass player over here, he brought a fruit tray. So it was a lovely day. We got things cleaned up on the property, and things look really good. So we want to do that November 11th, Saturday. It's Veterans Day. God bless our veterans. So November 11th, I just want to put that in your ear so you're checking your calendar because, it'd be good to have you out there and working with us. The other thing I want to talk about is the affiliation committee, the reaffiliation committee. That was a subcommittee of the board. And at one time in this church's history, there was some conflict with the mother body of our church, which is Unity Worldwide Ministries. And so the church decided to separate, to disaffiliate our church here. And so personnel have changed at UWM, and personnel have changed here at Unity of Austin. I wasn't here at the time, so I don't know exactly what all the conflict was about. But there was a committee that worked over 2 years to put things together. Reverend Carroll diligently put together a package, which was quite a package that had to be submitted to reaffiliate. There were several meetings, and they did a lot of hard work. And, well done, thy good and faithful servant. And so we want to acknowledge them next Sunday. So we're going to have them come up here. I hope they'll be here next Sunday. We're going to have them come up here and acknowledge them and give them a small gift. And I'll bring some cheesecake. Who can be mad at cheesecake? And so we'll meet up in the gathering room and just have a good time after church like we always do. And that's it. Okay, I had to talk fast. I'm a slow-talking Texan, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabrina. And our Sacred Service Day at church is actually a lot of fun. She discussed it as it being work, and I guess there is some work, but there's a lot of fun.
I meant service.
Service, there we go. Real good. So just a few other announcements. Just a reminder, Reverend Carroll hosts an evening prayer circle at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live every Wednesday. And it lasts for about 20 minutes, and it's a good way to connect and reflect with Reverend Carroll on a practical spiritual idea and a peaceful meditation. So please join her for a Wednesday evening midweek reflection. And Unity of Austin has an ongoing spiritual growth and development class that meets every Sunday morning in the bookstore from 9:45 a.m. until 10:50, just before our Sunday service. And we're reading a book called The Quest, a spiritual rediscovery, written by Richard and Mary Jafala. All are welcome to attend, and based on how the book is written, it's not necessary to have been there from the beginning. And if you're not able to join us, you can still grow with us by getting your own copy of the book, The Quest. Saturday, October 28th, that is next Saturday, Unity of Austin is having a meditation retreat from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at the church in the gathering room. Lunch will be provided, and there will be vegetarian options. You can RSVP to internmicah@gmail.com. Again, that's internmicah@gmail.com. Or you may call the church office for more information and to register. And next Sunday, October 29th, in honor of Dia de los Muertos, also known as Day of the Dead celebration, we will be having church in a very different way. The youth and family ministry will be in charge that day. That's right, YFM will be in charge, and that means the order of service, music, etc. will be different. And there will be new and different music, video clips, and more. The first part of the service will be here in the sanctuary, and the second part will be in the gathering room down the hall. There will also be a potluck Sunday, so remember to bring your favorite dish and share and get ready to explore some delicious food. So with that, now we get to meet and greet the Christ.
You forgot about the movie. There's a movie.
That's right. Tell us more about the movie, Ray.
Okay, the movie is Coco. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's really good.
Thank you.
Or you can wait and see it on Sunday.
All right. And with that, now we get to meet and greet the Christ in each other. Get it, Sam?
choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing love today.
Choosing grace now.
I'm choosing grace today. I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing grace today. I choose compassion today.
Choose compassion.
I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I choose compassion today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing joy today. I choose abundance today. I choose abundance today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I choose abundance today.
Choosing heaven.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now.
Woo-hoo. I'm choosing heaven today.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. October 22nd, 2023. Our daily word is grace. And today we affirm, I walk in grace and peace today. Again, I walk in grace and peace today. Our message reads, I give thanks for the activity of God in my life that appears as grace. This divine gift manifests as the beauty of the world and the people in it, and as the comforting presence of God within and around me each day. I do not have to do anything to earn grace, because it is not the result from my attitude or actions. It flows from the infinite love of God within every person and surrounding every circumstance. It is the indwelling presence that sustains me in challenging times, and it lifts me in good times. I accept grace with gratitude when I have stumbled along life's paths and receive unexpected blessings. This boundless love fills my heart with bliss and peace. I live in the presence of infinite love, believing each unfolding event in my life is leading me to my highest good. From 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, my grace is sufficient for you. Now let us prepare for meditation.
Open wide my Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my
I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the breath as it comes in through your nostrils and enters your lungs. Allow the breath to enter your belly. Pause a moment before exhaling. Release the breath slowly through your mouth. Before taking your next breath, pause. Breathe in another breath. Feel it expand your belly. Once again, pause before you exhale through your mouth. Feeling relaxed, enter into that sacred space of the Most High, knowing that in the silence you are safe and affirmed in your radical wholeness. Bringing all that you are to this moment, I invite you into this time of meditation. Pay attention to your breath. Focus on the present moment. As thoughts come into your mind, thank them for showing up and release them. Feel where your body is in space. What are your hands like? What are your feet? What do you feel there? If you are not already, firmly ground yourself where you sit. It does not matter if your eyes are closed or not. Just breathe and focus on your breath. I invite you to imagine a ball of energy hovering above your head. Feel it pulsating as it directs its energy towards you. Now imagine this ball of energy entering through the crown of your head and moving down your face. Taste that energy with your mouth. Feel the vibration of your cheeks. As the ball of energy moves down into your shoulders and down your arms, feel it pulsate and begin to revitalize you. Moving down your spine into the middle of your back, feel the energy shift your core as your core connects to the heart of God. The ball of energy now moves through your hips and splits as it slowly moves down each leg. As it does, you feel vitality and zeal for life exploding into vibrant colors of light. Moving into your feet, feel the pulsating power move through your body. Having felt its power, you relax into the silence, basking in the awareness of God, the source of all life. Coming back now into this time and space, gently open your eyes as you feel ready. Embrace the rejuvenation you feel and the readiness to expand and explore the next evolution of your consciousness. Take one last moment to breathe deeply, holding the breath before you exhale from the belly through your mouth. Return to this time and space transformed. Join us now as we affirm together the series of affirmations also known as the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Rich Siegel, everybody.
Sometimes I feel like there's no one to help me, no one to hear when I need a friendly ear. But then I turn inside to be still and know, and deep in the silence is where I am shown that the light of God's love heals me, it heals me. The light of God's love heals me. The light of God's love heals me. It heals me to live in the light of God's love. It's my time with God. I inwardly open. Thoughts come, then fade as the quiet expands, and connection arrives when deeper I go, knowing just oneness above and below. The light of God's love heals me, it heals me. The light of God's love heals me. The light of God's me to live in the light of God's love. This light comforts me. This light inspires me. This light abides in me all my days. Light of God's love heals me. It heals me to live in the light of God's love. As I awaken to the world all around me, the light of God's love shines through everyone's eyes, shines through pretty blue skies and the dark of the night. My healing is found in remembering God's light. Sing it with me. The light of God's love heals me. It heals me. The light of God's love heals me. The light of God's love heals me. It heals me to live in the light, to live in the light of God's love. God's love heals me. The light of God's love heals me. It heals me to live in the light, to live in the light, to live in the light of God's love.
Thank you, Rich and Trevor. That was amazing. Thank you so much. So it'll be interesting how we do this now, because I know when I'm out there, I rely on that up there to do this. So I hope that I can lead you through it. Our affirmations. Oh, the affirmations are in a bulletin. Okay, well, that's awesome. All right. So if we could stand as we're able, and let's say our affirmation together. My power of zeal says yes to all possibilities and moves me forward. My power of zeal says yes to all possibilities and moves me forward. Now, joining in with somebody who's near you, you can go ahead and say it. My power of zeal says yes to all possibilities and moves me forward. Thank you, everybody. That was really good. I'm glad that Sabrina pointed out that it's in the bulletin. I don't know that. Obviously, I don't read the bulletin. Exactly. What did you say, Sarah? I do read Shine the Light, but I don't read the bulletin. So, my little confession for the morning. Although we don't have a priest here, do we? Oh, well. At any rate, Jesus was traveling from town to town, spreading his transformative message that one of oneness with God and that there's no separation or lack. He was also healing those in need. Imagine the scene. The anxious chatter of a large crowd of people gathering by the sea. the sun shining brightly, a cool breeze coming off the water to bring relief from the hot desert air. People trying to get closer to Jesus, perhaps jostling for position in close proximity to Jesus and the disciples. They gathered to hear this man of mystery and of power. Perhaps for some, they were there with the hope of being healed themselves. There were so many people on the banks that Jesus had to get in the boat to speak to them. The crowd must have been filled with anxious anticipation as they waited to hear what Jesus was going to say. They had heard of this man who spoke wise words and healed the sick, and they wanted what he had to give. Hushed by their eagerness to hear every word that Jesus had to say, they listened carefully. I imagine Jesus took the scene in and surveyed it. And before he began to speak, I imagine he just paused, saying, "Listen, listen." A sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seed fell on the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Other seed fell on rocky ground where it did not have much soil and sprang up quickly, since it had no depth of soil. And when the sun rose, it was scorched, and since it had no root, it withered away. Other seed fell among the thorns, and the thorns grew and choked it, and it yielded no grain. Other seed fell into good soil and brought forth grain, growing up, increasing, yielding 30, 60, and 100-fold. And Jesus said, "Let anyone with ears hear this." This is from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verses 3 to 9. What have you heard in the hearing of this parable? What does soil have to do with the life of faith anyway? What exactly is Jesus saying? Let's take a look. As any gardener or farmer knows, it takes a lot of time to nurture good soil, and it doesn't happen overnight. There are 17 nutrients which are essential to making good soil, and they must be put in the soil with the right ratio. The crops also need to be rotated every year so as to give the soil a chance to rest. Farmers know that if they do not take the time to tend the soil, then their harvest will be negatively impacted. The preparation of the soil determines the yield. As people depend on the harvest for their food, it is essential that farmers take the time to nurture the soil. If they do not, the supplies run low, and if they run low enough, people starve. Jesus understood how essential the soil was to sustaining life. He also knew that whoever was hungry for spiritual food would understand this parable. Those with receptivity of mind would hear that they needed to nurture themselves with the spiritual food to elevate their Christ consciousness. In these words, Jesus is challenging us to elevate our own Christ consciousness by becoming aware of our oneness with God, our own divinity, and the oneness of all beings. Where are you in your own evolution of consciousness? Jesus spoke of 4 types of soil. The first had the seeds falling on a path and the birds ate it up. This soil is rock hard, and the seed cannot penetrate it. The pure potential that is contained within the seed cannot become manifest because the soil is not properly prepared. People who have this kind of soil hear the truth, yet it bounces off of them because they are living in fear, lack consciousness, and a belief in separation. People in this state of consciousness are unable to see beyond their present circumstances. Thus, spiritual truth is lost on them. They're unable to use their power of imagination to deal with their life circumstances. They see themselves as victims, as if everything is happening to them and that they have no control. They are caught up in what they see with their eyes and with their senses. They cannot see the deeper truths beyond their material circumstances. These are the folks who are reacting to the circumstances of their lives because they do not know any other way. The second seed fell on rocky places without much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow, but when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. This soil is more pliable. Seed is able to penetrate the surface, however, it does not go deep enough to truly express its full potential. Again, the seed contains everything it needs to blossom as a spiritual being it was meant to be, but the soil is not properly prepared. These are the folks who hear the word of truth, receive it gladly for a time, and fall away when things get tough. For them, the mind does not have room for the seed. These are the folks who take up their newfound faith with zeal. They are passionate. They take all the classes. They are along for the ride as long as the ride is good. Then they face a hurdle, and like the sun scorches the plants falling on this type of soil, they wither and fall back into the ways of fear, lack consciousness, and belief in separation. Because they have no depth, they stumble. The third type of soil the seed fell on was it fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plants, so they did not bear grain. Here, the seed falls on good soil, but the garden has not been tended. The weeds are the thoughts we hold in our mind that distract us from the truth we know. These weeds are the lure of the material world. These folks are the ones who have heard the truth and have tended the soil, yet are distracted by the lure of fake promises of the material world. They too turn away from the truth of oneness in favor of belief of separation, lack, and fear. They are obsessed with the acquisition of material wealth and physical gratification. They choke the truth. And finally, still other seed fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, multiplying 30, 60, and even 100 times. This soil has been tended with care, tenderness, compassion, and love. These folks live from within out, firmly centered in the belief and oneness. They do not look to the material world to satisfy them, as they are nurtured by their inner sense of worthiness and an understanding of their own divinity. The inner peace they have is a result of an embrace of themselves as radically whole and perfectly complete, just as they are. This is good ground producing an abundant harvest. The abundant harvest is a result of embracing the divinity of all beings, of digging deep within to evolve and embracing transformation, an ability to live authentically and embrace vulnerability, embracing oneness and interconnectedness of all beings, acting with integrity from within out, seeing no separation and embracing the infinite abundant supply of the universe, living continually with the deeply held conviction that this or something better is always in store. Now that we understand the soil, we need to understand the sower as the indwelling Christ presence who always speaks the word of truth to humanity. The sower is always planting seeds that are available to us. The question is, are we listening? Are we creating space in our consciousness for the indwelling Christ presence to thrive in our lives? I want to share the story of a woman named Gert to illustrate about the soil in our lives. It comes from the book Kitchen Table Wisdom by Rachel Naomi Raymond. Gert was a patient of hers. Gert was a big woman with great warmth and humor. She had a wonderfully contagious laugh. However, she struggled with depression and anxiety. She was a successful owner of an interior design firm that had locations on 3 different continents, and she was wildly creative. However, she struggled with deep loneliness and a long string of self-destructive relationships with men. She was Irish and had a good upbringing. However, this all suddenly changed when she experienced a traumatic event. She was raped at night point. Adding to the injury, she received little support from her overwhelmed parents and the church's silence. She dealt with that shame for a long time. Eventually, she left for America to live with her aunt. She felt over the 25 years before she met Rachel Naomi Raymond a deep vulnerability, and she carried that shame with her. She tried to survive the best she could. After about a year of working with Rachel Naomi Raymond and tending to her unconscious wounds, she did not know how to care for herself. So Rachel Naomi Raymond suggested that she get a geranium. And this was with the hope that she would learn to nurture herself. So she took the geranium home, thinking Rachel Naomi Raymond was crazy, and she tried to take care of it. However, she watered it too much, and then she didn't water it enough, and then she didn't give it the proper nutrients. So the geranium was like sort of not thriving. And then she discovered the language of the geranium, and she began to listen. So she learned to water it properly. She learned when it was thirsty, when it wasn't thirsty. She learned what nutrients to put in. And this gave her the key to living a congruent life. So she settled in and made the changes in her life so she could truly care for herself. Gert's story tells us something about what Jesus was conveying in this parable. She was living unconscious. The seed was falling on hard ground. There were rocky places in her life, and she didn't know what to do, and she was choking out the goodness. And then she learned the language of love. The seed fell on good soil, and she embraced herself. And the truth is, we are all like Gert. We have 4 types of soil within us. We weave in and out of them. Sometimes we get caught up in our own story. Sometimes we are ignited by a powerful Sunday service only to get unconscious with the routine of Monday morning. Sometimes we forget our oneness and buy into the belief of lack and get caught up in the material world. And sometimes we nail it. We are centered, grounded in our Christ presence within. We weave in and out of these 4 levels of consciousness. It's human. But I want you to remember that it's a journey and a process. And be gentle and patient with yourself. Jesus said that there are 4 types of soil that the seeds of our consciousness can fall upon. We are responsible for the consciousness that we nurture. In Unity, we're fond of saying, what you think about, you bring about. Gert struggled with her shame about her rape. It controlled her for so many years. She came to know freedom through the language of the geranium. She thought differently about herself, and her life changed. What we think about ourselves and the world matters. If we are able to live in the consciousness of the Christ power within, we must nurture it. There are a multitude of ways we can nurture our consciousness. We can use denials and affirmations. Denials are when we embrace the facts, but we don't allow them to have power over us. An affirmation is stating that you are the I am presence in the world, and that the power and presence of God is with you. We use affirmative prayer. It's prayer that's not beseeching the God outside of us or begging, but rather affirming our own goodness, affirming our own divinity, and affirming that the power and presence of God is at work in our life in divine order. We use meditation. We use study of sacred scripture from a variety of the world's religions, such as the Christian Bible, the Islamic text, the Quran, and the Hadith. the Bhagavad Gita, the sayings of Buddha in the Dhammapada, the Hindu texts, the Upanishads and the Vedas, the Kabbalah, the Judaic texts, the Hebrew Bible, the Talmud, and the Tanakh, the Taoist text, the Tao Te Ching, and the Baha'i text, the Seven Valleys and the Four Valleys. Now, there are a lot of other sacred texts that you can use, but you need to choose one that speaks to you. We can also read the writings of our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. We can take classes. We can participate in spiritual community. And we can engage in acts of service with others. And we can take time to do other spiritual reading. We can watch YouTube videos of New Thought ministers and TED Talks that interest us. We can nurture our bodies with nourishing food and exercise. We can nurture our relationships, and I'm sure that you can think of many other things that we can do to nourish our Christ consciousness. We have seen this morning that the consciousness we bring to our lives matters. When we commit to growing in consciousness, our life changes. So I'll end this talk with this exercise. In your bulletins, there's a blank piece of paper. And for those of you online, if you have paper and a pen available, that'd be great. If not, just think about what you could do. Now, I want you to take a few moments to consider one way that you could commit to nurturing your consciousness over the next month. Write it down on a piece of paper. Take it with you this morning and put it in a visible place in your home where you can see it each day to remind you of your commitment that you're making today. I'll give you a little bit to do this. How are you going to use your commitment this morning to change your consciousness? And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Micah. Thank you for helping us understand that we need to nurture our soil to get ready for an evolution of our own consciousness. There's so many ways to do it. I appreciate that. Thank you. And now we get to celebrate our abundance. And I invite the ushers to come forward. And with joy and gratitude, we acknowledge God is our source, and we are consistently receiving those blessings that prosper us. As we are prospered, we go forth and prosper others. God's good is always taking place and happens through us and by us, and thus the circulation of good is alive. Thank you, God.
Join me in our celebration of abundance blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother, God.
There's one truth, but many paths to God above. There's one truth, but many ways to seek His love. In a church or in a temple, in a mosque or in a shrine. There's one truth, but many paths. There's one truth, but many names for God on high. There's one truth, but many ways to call Him nigh. The Muslims call Him Allah. The Lakota say Great Spirit. There's one truth, but many names. In this world of ours, the ego takes the stage. Things get misunderstood. There are those who say they're right, that they have the only way. But standing in that judgment will never serve the truth. For cultures are many, religions are many, paths are many, God is one. There's one truth, but many paths to God above. There's one truth, but many ways to claim His love. His love is the same for everyone, no matter what you call Him. There's one truth, and that one truth is God is one. This world of ours, the ego takes the stage and things get misunderstood. There are those who say that their God is dealing in real estate, but God does not play favorites. That's a sacrilege to truth. For cultures are many, religions are many, paths are many, God is one. There's one truth, but many paths to God above. There's one truth, but many ways to seek His love. His love is the same for everyone, no matter what you call Him. Dios, God, Allah, Hashem. There's one truth, and that one truth is God is one. There's one truth, and that one truth is God is one. Shema kol ha'olam Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
It looks like we have a bunch of children here today. Let's sing them in.